The diner fell silent the moment the glass shattered. A coffee cup hit the floor and burst into white shards, the liquid splashing across the black and white tiles like a wound opening in the middle of the night. Jenny Hall, a 27-year-old waitress with tired blue eyes and her blonde hair pulled into a messy ponytail, froze where she stood. The three men in leather jackets at the corner booth weren't just loud anymore, they were angry. One of them grabbed her wrist as she tried to walk past, his beer breath hot against her face. "Come on, sweetheart," he sneered, his grip tightening. "Sit with us for a bit. Bet you've had a long night." Jenny's hand trembled as she tried to pull away, her voice barely above a whisper. "Please, I'm just working." "Let me go," but they laughed. The whole diner went still, tense, helpless silence. Two elderly couples near the window looked away. A young man near the door hesitated, then dropped his gaze to his phone. No one wanted to interfere. No one except the men outside, whose motorcycles had been rumbling quietly in the cold rain. That's when the bell above the diner door jingled. 4 bikers stepped inside, soaked from the downpour, their heavy boots echoing against the floor. The leader, Ray Donovan, a burly man in his late 40s with graying hair and sharp gray eyes, took one look at Jenny and the thugs holding her wrist. The air changed instantly. "Hey," Ray said, voice calm but heavy like thunder before a storm. "The lady said no." The thug turned, sizing him up. "Mind your business, old man. This ain't your diner," Ray smiled faintly. "It is now." The next few seconds felt like an eternity. Chairs scraped, fists clenched, and the other bikers, 3 massive men in matching leather vests with the patch iron soles, spread out silently behind Ray. Their presence alone was enough to freeze the room. Jenny could hear her heart pounding in her chest. Then, without warning, the thug shoved her away. She stumbled, nearly falling, and Ray caught her arm gently, steadying her. "You okay?" he asked softly. Jenny nodded, her eyes glistening with tears she'd been holding back all night. That moment, the quiet after chaos, was when something inside her broke open. She'd been working double shifts for weeks, trying to pay off her mother's hospital bills, and she was just too tired to keep pretending she was fine. Ray looked over at the thugs, who suddenly weren't so brave. "You boys need to eat somewhere else tonight." One of them tried to laugh it off, but his voice cracked. They threw a few crumpled bills on the table and stormed out into the rain. For a moment, the diner was still again. Then, slowly, the sound of breath returned, the clink of dishes, the hum of the coffee machine. Life resumed. Jenny tried to thank Ray, but he waved her off. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "Just didn't like what I saw." Still, she brought him and his crew coffee on the house. They sat quietly, their presence filling the empty diner with a strange sense of safety. Sometimes courage isn't about fighting, it's about standing up when no one else will. If you believe in kindness and courage, subscribe the channel and share this story today. Someone out there needs to remember that humanity still exists. As Jenny poured Ray's cup, she asked, "Why did you help me?" He chuckled softly, glancing at the rain outside. "Because once, I didn't. Years ago, I saw a guy treat a waitress like that. I looked away. I told myself it wasn't my problem, but I thought about it for years." Jenny blinked, tears streaming silently down her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered. One of the bikers, a younger man named Toby, leaned back with a grin. "Boss, you just earned us free pie for life." The men laughed, breaking the tension. For the first time that night, Jenny laughed too, a small trembling sound but real. Later, when the bikers finally left, the diner felt emptier but warmer somehow. Jenny walked outside, standing under the neon sign as the rain washed the glass clean. The taillights of their motorcycles glowed red against the darkness before fading into the mist. She reached into her apron pocket and felt something small, a folded napkin. On it, in messy handwriting, were the words, "You're stronger than you think." "Keep going." Jenny held it close, tears mixing with the rain. For the first time in a long time, she didn't feel invisible. The next morning, she pinned that napkin behind the counter, right next to the daily specials. People who came in noticed it, asked about it, and she'd just smile and say, "Some good people stopped by one night." Weeks later, a group of bikers returned for breakfast. Jenny was waiting for them, stronger, smiling, and wearing a new apron that said, "Be kind or be gone." Ray grinned as he slid onto a stool. "Guess you're not afraid anymore, huh?" Jenny poured him a cup of coffee, steady hands, and a bright smile. Not anymore. And as the sunlight hit the diner windows, everything felt different, safer, stronger, human. Because sometimes heroes don't wear suits or capes. Sometimes they walk in with rain on their boots, a heart full of regret, and a second chance to do the right thing.